Welcome to our new class, HRM434 Cross Cultural Management. Today we will have a case study, and the title of the case study is Pulling Out All the Stops. This is the whole case presented to you in 5 different small subtopics. The first one, pizza boxes problem with the pizza boxes. Number 2, solution to the initial problem. Number 3, contact and contracts. Number 4, grand welcoming. And number 5, silence on both sides. What went wrong? Let's come to the details of the case. It's about a Canadian packaging company. They are focusing in the area of convenience foods. They wanted to expand their operation. What they do is supplying pizza boxes to pizza restaurants. These restaurants had home delivery services. Usually, these restaurants relied on local suppliers for the pizza boxes, but the suppliers and also the customers were unhappy with the product supplied, especially the quality of the pizza boxes, irregular delivery, and the cost because these boxes were produced in Canada by some companies. So this is what we say problem with pizza boxes. Now, number 2, solution to the initial problem. As a solution, the company made a intensive online research and found that a company in Shanghai, China, they could provide pizza boxes. People Republic of China, PRC. Remember in the last class we were talking about PRC. When we were talking about business manners, we had talked in details about China, and also we also talked about some of the European countries. So the Canadian company found out there is a packaging manufacturer near Shanghai, and they could provide pizza boxes at a very reasonable price in line with the specification and quantities, and also they could provide it within the deadline set. So that is the second part. Now we will move to the third part, which is about having contact and also having contract with this new Chinese company. Remember, in the last class we were talking about Chinese mostly preferred having phone calls. So the Canadian company did some emails and phone calls, and a deal is going to come. Before the contract, both the companies decided that they should visit each other's headquarters, and also they should meet face to face to get all the details and have a complete confidence, and also to settle the final details. It was agreed that Chinese company people, the management will be visiting Canada first, and then 2 weeks later, the Canadians will be visiting China. There we move to the part 4 of the case, a grand welcome. So Chinese are coming over to Canada. So the Canadians, they did their best to give all the things, to receive the Chinese guests, and they wanted to have a very grand welcome reception party for them that they never will forget this party. So they arranged an elaborate ceremony in a five-star hotel with authentic Chinese dinner, and even they found some of the ingredients. They imported some of the ingredients for this function from China because they wanted to give them a surprise with a Chinese authentic dinner. So everything was arranged. They did all their best. They pulled out all the stops. Try to find out the meaning of pulling out all the stops and a similar phrase in Arabic for the same. And the big day came. The Chinese are already in the airport. They were escorted by limousine cars by the president and the management team to the five-star hotel. They prized them very well with lavish words in front of many guests, and everybody had a friendly face in their friendly face to welcoming them. But then Chinese guests, they were a bit very formal and not showing some appreciation. Then during the meal, the lavish dinner, they had a very nice meal and they had some celebrations, some shows after the dinner. Yet the Chinese kept silent, they did not speak much. Eventually, both teams ended up in silence, and after some time, the Chinese guests they went back to the hotel saying that we are a bit tired and they retired to their rooms. The Canadians were surprised and disappointed. What went wrong? Silence on both sides. What went wrong? So, this is the case, and you have four questions to answer. It's an individual case study, so everyone should present the answers individually through Google Classroom. The first question is, why were Canadian hosts surprised by the behavior of the Chinese? And a sub question for question number one, how do you think Canadian expected the Chinese to behave? That is question number one. And number two, why do you think the Chinese behaved the way they did? Why they were behaving that way? And number three, if you had to choose one word to describe the Chinese culture, what would that word be? Remember our previous presentation about China? So, what that one word would be? And question number four, which is very important. Suppose that it is you and your company. That means a company owned by you in Saudi Arabia, and the other party is the Canada. So if you are replacing the Chinese company and it is you and your company, what would have the end of this case? Explain what would have been the response, how you would be doing about addressing the needs of the Canadian company, having the agreement, having the contact and contract. So now you have to answer these four questions and you have to support, please note this, support your answer with relevant citation from the case study. You will find the case in the Google Classroom. It's already added there and you should be submitting it at the earliest possible time, mostly by end of tomorrow's class or at least by end of tomorrow's class or by Sunday morning. Wish you all the best. Any question you could ask through Google Classroom or through Zoom chat, and by this we will end.